Hey guys, so I know I look like absolute crap right now, but I'm actually about to leave to go vote in this year's election for the first time. I'm 19 years old, so I'd never gotten the chance to legally vote in an election. I voted in the primary, and now we are leaving to go do early voting. It's October 31st, Halloween, and I look like crap, but we're about to go vote. And I thought that I'd ask my mom, why is it important to vote?
So your voice is heard, and so that the needs and the wants of the people is accounted for.
I agree. I think that being as young as I am, it's important to do your research, and that doesn't just mean watching the news, but reading a lot about who the candidates are, knowing for sure where they stand on all the policies, so that you're not making an uneducated vote. Don't vote if you don't know who you're voting for. Being so young, our voices should matter. I know that a lot of us feel like because the Electoral College has a big say in who the president is going to be, that what's the point in voting? But I think that's just the wrong mindset. What do you think, Mom?
They are supposed to be following what we have asked our representatives to vote for or to back up. So if the majority of us are voting for one president over the other, then our electoral college should represent the popular vote.
So I go to school in downtown Chicago, but I'm registered in a suburb of Chicago where my parents live and where I live. So I can't obviously come down on Tuesday since I have class to vote. So we're doing early voting, which is why I'm here on Halloween. If you are in an area where you can't vote, find a way to register. Bring your ID, bring your mail, tell them this is where you're living if you're dorming. Find a way to vote because it's important. If you have the opportunity, try to go home. I mean, especially when you do, like me, live maybe an hour away from downtown. It's easy enough for me to come home if I really wanted to on Tuesday, but early voting is just the better option here. So if you don't live that far away, or if you really do feel like going out of your way, like if you do live in another state, to go home and vote, do it if you can't find a way to do it here, because it's probably one of the most important things you're ever going to do. My first time voting in an election is probably one of the most important elections that we've had in years, and it's terrifying, but it's also really exciting, because I think that the craziness of this election should make everyone want to vote even more than normal. Both of the candidates are just, yeah. I'm not going to go into that. This is probably one of the craziest, most controversial elections that America's had in a long time. I remember when Obama was up for the candidacy and he got elected. I remember everything, watching him win the presidency on TV, and it was just like one of those great things, because mostly everyone I knew supported Obama, and it was like this really happy time because it was our first African-American president. And even now, watching the Obama family leave the White House has been really hard for a lot of people, because they've just done so many good things and they're a great family all together. And it was just like one of those things where there wasn't really a whole lot of fighting, I guess, about it. And now it's just, this election's tearing people apart. It's like really showing people's true colors, and it's scary, but that's why we need to go vote.
I think that the Obamas were a breath of fresh air, and now it seems like, I don't know, you would think we'd have better to offer us to choose from, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I think it's important that not only for the president, but for our representatives and our senators, because they're the people that are voting on the laws. And we need to be sure that we're getting people in there who are going to get the work done, and not just rubber stamp what the politician wants.
That was a big struggle that happened with Obama, was there's a lot of things he wanted to get through, but Congress is pretty rough.
It's hard for a Democratic president to get things accomplished with a majority Republican Congress and Senate, and vice versa for a Republican president. So we need to get people that are willing to work together, because nobody can do it alone. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a whole country to move a country forward. Not just one person, not just one president. We all have to do our part.
While we're talking about the candidates for presidency, I do want to talk a little bit about third-party voting, and specifically people who were Bernie Sanders supporters. I still am a Bernie Sanders supporter, but in the primary I voted for Bernie Sanders, and I I don't feel the need to hide that from anyone. I'm very proud of voting for Bernie Sanders. I don't really feel the need to make that private. But obviously, Hillary and Donald Trump were the two that made it out of the primary. And a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters obviously were upset about that. But Bernie Sanders openly came out on live television to millions of people saying that he was going to endorse Hillary and that we should vote for Hillary. And a lot of people booed him and thought it was ridiculous and were mad, and called him kind of a sellout. But I think that the people who supported Bernie should listen to him when he says stuff like that, because
he knows more than we do.
Yeah, he's a politician. He knows more than we do. I don't want to make this a video about who you should vote for, but if you support someone and they don't make it, usually if they endorse someone, there's a reason that they endorse someone. They wouldn't endorse someone for no reason. So you kind of just have to roll with the punches. And also, third-party voting, I mean, in retrospect, it seems like a really good option if you don't like either of the candidates like we were just talking about, but both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are so popular and have such a big following. I'm about to go vote. It's super quiet in here, and I'm terrified, but I'm excited. This is just an exciting time. I voted. I voted. I found myself getting a little emotional in there. I don't know why. I just get really emotional because I feel like I'm voting for a lot of people, not necessarily just me. I don't know, I guess I am in an environment where a lot of people that I love and care about are the people that are affected by a lot of these policies. Like, two of my best friends in the entire world are gay men, and their equality and their marriage rights mean a lot to me. And then a lot of my friends have either been sexually assaulted or raped, unfortunately. And so women's rights is also a big thing for me. And so going in there and voting, it felt like I was voting for those people. I mean, they're going to go out and vote too, but I felt like I was voting. My vote was for those people too. Who I vote for doesn't just affect me. I mean, obviously it affects the whole country, but when you make it personal like that, that's when it gets emotional. But yeah, it was really easy. You just hand over your driver's license. They print you, or give you a little card. You stick it in the machine and then you're set. Took us like how long?
Maybe 5-10 minutes, tops.
Please, take time out of your day. 10 minutes. Go vote. It really doesn't take that long.
And review the printout to make sure that your votes are for who you voted for.
If you're an American, it's your duty to vote. Go vote. If you're under 18, obviously you can't vote, but if you're under 18, like I said, research, be prepared, because one day you will be old enough to vote, and you're going to want to know where you can go as far as resources to learn about your candidates and to learn about politics. I was never someone who was very into politics, but I feel like this election kind of forced me to open my eyes and learn a lot. So if you're under 18, or if you're like right there, if maybe the next election you're going to be able to vote, learn how to follow politics, learn how to follow policy, watch the news, read the newspaper. I mean, a lot of the places that you go might have a slight bias, but it's better than not doing anything.